Here we go, the inbound to begin it. Drive, stop, punt, shoot, short, no good, and the game is over! Kermit on the inbound play, inbound, fades at the horn, he scores! They score, and they win it! Bango, bango. Yes, sir. Bounce pass to Ainge, Ainge for three. Rip! Yes, sir.
Blake now throws to Roy. Brandon, a three-pointer out front. Hit it! Yes, he did! Oh, yeah! Deep three. Oh! What? Blazers win the series. A walk-off three from Lillard.
It's a new era in Portland.
Rebound, Sharp, put back, dunk. And a new career high for Shaedon Sharp.
I will miss the chance to learn from Dame, but we also have Anthony Simons and JG, guys that have been around him. I won't miss the development on my own part.
It's the fifth quarter with Chad Doing and Chris Burkhard. The fifth quarter is presented by Frost Brewed Coors Light, made to chill.
It kind of feels like the Trailblazers just gave us a lump of coal in our stocking as we get ready for Christmas Eve tomorrow. Good evening, my friends. Chad Doing and Chris Burkhard. You've got the fifth quarter right here in your home of the Blazers, 620 Rip City Radio. You can find us on YouTube right now. Go to youtube.com and pull up our homepage, Rip City Radio 620. You'll find the link to our live shows there, and be sure to click and subscribe. Your final score tonight from Chase Center down in San Francisco. Warriors over the Trailblazers by a final score of 126 to 106. Well, the Trailblazers responded to our pleas. Both Burkhard and I were pleading and begging for them to get off to a better start, and they did tonight. They started the game with better focus, better energy. They were playing with purpose. Portland trailed 15-14 after a bucket from Steph Curry midway through the first quarter, and then proceeded to go on a tear. The Blazers got a quick three and another bucket from Anthony Simons, and multiple players, including DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson, and Matisse Thybulle got into the mix, allowing the Blazers to go on a 9-0 spurt, giving them a 23-15 advantage with 4:13 to play in the first. Portland continued the energy, taking a 30-23 lead at the end of one. Simons led Portland in the first with 8, Brogdon 7. The Blazers connected on 45% of their shots, including 4 of 10 from downtown. The Warriors got 6 from Curry and 5 from Klay Thompson. The Blazers forced 9 Warrior turnovers in the first, leading to 7 points. Now, the Warriors cranked up their attack in the second quarter. Moses Moody connected on a bucket at the 6:42 mark to tie the game at 36, capping off a 13-6 run to open the quarter. And Golden State would just continue to pour it on. Over the next 3 minutes, the Warriors exploded for an 11-3 run to push their lead to 8 at 47-39. Golden State would also score the final 5 points of the quarter on free throws from Kevon Looney and a 3 from Thompson, taking a 57-46 lead into the break. It was a painful quarter for the Blazers, outscored 34-16. Curry had 10 points in the second. Thompson and Kuminga each with 5. The Warriors shot a whopping 65% in that second quarter. Portland shot just 31%, and even worse, they were 2 of 9 from downtown. Curry at halftime led all scorers with 16, Thompson with 10, and Golden State shot 55% in that first half. Simons and Brogdon each Had 11 for Portland in the first half. The Blazers connected on just 39% of their shots and were only 6 of 19 from three-point range. Now, the Blazers' offense finally got going in that third quarter, but the problem was their defense. Portland's defense couldn't match their offense in the third. The Blazers scored 31 points in the third. They actually cut the deficit down to 6 at 81-75. They shot 61% in the quarter, connected on 2 of 5 from downtown. Jeremy Grant led the way in the third with 9 on 3 of 3 shooting, but the Warriors got the shots they wanted, and a lot of them at point-blank range. They dropped 32 points in the quarter on 58% shooting. Thompson had 13 in the third. Curry with 11. The Warriors were able to take an 89-77 lead heading into the fourth quarter. And that's where the wheels came off. Less than 5 minutes into the final quarter, the Warriors had pushed their lead to 20 at 106-86, following a 17-9 run capped off by a Thompson three-pointer. The Blazers trailed by double digits the rest of the way. The Warriors got an easy win tonight. 126-106 was the final. Curry and Thompson combined for 55 points on 22 of 34 shooting. You know what it looked like to me tonight? The Splash Brothers of old. Simons led the Blazers with 25. Brogdon and Grant each had 17. Portland shot 45% for the game, while the Warriors scorched the Nets at 57%. And the rookie Scoot Henderson finished with 12 points and 3 steals in 23 minutes. He was 4 of 9 from the field. The Blazers also got pounded on the glass tonight. The Warriors out-rebounded them 49-30, including 13 offensive rebounds, which they pulled down, giving them a 15-8 edge in second-chance points. Chauncey Billups mentioned it after the game. The Blazers able to force 18 turnovers tonight, but they converted it into only 14 points. The Warriors +8 in points off turnovers. They forced 12 and converted that into 22 points. And in the paint tonight, the Warriors feasted, outscoring Portland 62-42, and they scored 30-plus in 3 straight quarters, second, third, and fourth. And that is your final, 126-106. Chase Center tonight down in San Francisco.
It's time for a fifth quarter scoreboard report powered by Columbia Heating and Cooling, raising your expectations of comfort.
All right, a lot of things going on in the world of sports today. We start in the NFL, a game that just went final in Los Angeles. The Bills over the Chargers 24-22, getting a field goal to take the lead with less than a minute remaining in the game. Elsewhere, the Steelers pound the Bengals 34-11. Jake Browning, 335 yards passing in the loss. Checking the college football bowl scoreboard today. Right now, second quarter on ESPN, the Hawaii Bowl, Coastal Carolina leading San Jose State 7-0. Elsewhere in the 68 Ventures Bowl, South Alabama hammers Eastern Michigan 59-10. In the Vegas Bowl, Northwestern 14, Utah 7. Duke over Troy 17-10 in the 76 Birmingham Bowl. In the Camellia Bowl, Northern Illinois edges Arkansas State 21-19. Air Force 31, James Madison 21 in the Armed Forces Bowl, and Georgia State whacks Utah State 45-22 in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Checking your night in the NBA, and it was a busy one. One game still in action, third quarter in Sacramento. The Timberwolves over the Kings 65-49. Bucks over the Knicks today, 130-111. They improved to 22-7. Milwaukee, the NBA's hottest team, with 7 straight wins. Boston over the Clippers in LA, 145-108. Drew Holiday with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. The Nuggets topped the Hornets in Charlotte, 102-95. Jokic, 18 points, 10 boards, and 9 assists. The Magic, 117. The Pacers, 110 in Indiana. Ben Carroll, 34 points and 7 rebounds. The Rockets edged the Pelicans in New Orleans 106-104. In Atlanta, the Grizzlies over the Hawks 125-119. Desmond Bane with 37. The Nets deliver the 26th straight loss to the Detroit Pistons in Brooklyn 126-115. Mikal Bridges with 29 points. Jazz over the Raptors in Toronto 126-119. Lauri Markkanen with 30 points and 9 rebounds. In Oklahoma City, the Lakers over the Thunder 129-120. LeBron with 40 points, 7 boards, and 7 assists. Mavericks rout the Spurs in Dallas 144-119. Doncic triple-double with 39 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. And, of course, the Warriors over your Trailblazers by a final score of 126-106. We'll come back with your shot of the night, and then we'll take a look at what's the scoot and dive into Scoot Henderson's performance tonight in the Blazers' 126-106 loss at Chase Center in San Francisco. Chris Burkhard and Chad Doing with you. Merry Christmas, my friends.
Liberty Coin and Currency presents the fifth quarter shot of the night. Liberty Coin and Currency, the place to buy and sell your gold, silver, jewelry, and coins.
Henderson has it on the near side. He's defended by Chris Paul. He's open from downtown. Got it! Scoot Henderson from downtown makes it a 6-point game, 81-75. 3 minutes to play in the third.
The best performing team requires the best workstations. What's the Scoot is brought to you by Office Furniture Reborn. Need desks, better office chairs, or just the right file cabinet? Office Furniture Reborn has a huge selection of colors and sizes to choose from. So drop by Office Furniture Reborn's huge showroom just off Pacific Highway in 217 or visit www.officefurniturereborn.com.
All right, time to take a look at Scoot Henderson. Much better performance tonight. He got 22 minutes of action, scored 12 points, had 2 assists, and 3 steals. And we'll hear from it in the coach's corner with Chauncey Billups, but he showcased some of his physicality tonight, his defense. I like the energy that he played with, and he really did a good job of getting off to a better start tonight. So credit Scoot Henderson for his continued work. And like I mentioned before with Scoot, you know, the first quarter tonight I thought was nice with 4 points and an assist, but, you know, just his overall attention to detail, listening to what the coaches are saying, paying attention to the vets, and continuing to put in the time. His attitude, demeanor, and his approach is what gives me hope as he continues to move forward. He is making progress. It's not as quick or as flashy as what we want, but for someone who's 19, I feel pretty good about it. But most importantly, I love the physicality and the athleticism he has in that body. He's going to continue to grow and get stronger, too. And when that happens, look out, because he's still learning the game. But this is a guy that's going to have the ability to attack the rim, get into the paint, and be a problem. But I really like what I'm seeing with some of the desire on the defensive end, which is something that they desperately need at that position. So a big props to Scoot Henderson. What jumped out at you tonight?
They flipped the script. They did what we requested.
Yes.
They started the game hot.
They did.
And then they fizzled out quickly.
That's tough. That's tough. The Blazers, with the loss, fall to 7-21 on the year. The Warriors improve to 15-14. And I think maybe a lot of us were a little too quick to throw some dirt on the Warriors because they've been able to bounce back and play some pretty good basketball without Draymond in the lineup. And more importantly, Klay Thompson has got things cooking now. After struggling early in the season, in the last 4 games, he's looked sharp and he's been able to knock down shots.
Yeah, I told you that during the game. It's just nice to see him hitting shots again because he's easy to root for, good player. And, yeah, I think they're a team that you don't want to sleep on because they'll strike you. Interesting that they're playing a little bit better with Draymond out right now. Got that liability off the court for a second. But, yeah, man, when they want to be, they can still be the Warriors.
There's no question. Hard to beat the Warriors, too, when Klay Thompson, 28 points on 11 of 16 shooting, 6 of 10 from downtown in 30 minutes of action. 30 minutes for Curry, 11 of 18, 2 of 7 from downtown, 27 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. I mean, they were combined. I mean, it's tough. 22 of 34. That's smoking hot.
That's good.
That's good. Those 2 guys are tough. When they're making shots like that, look the heck out. All right, we'll hear from Chauncey Billups when we come back. We'll get his take on Scoot and the rest of the squad. Final score tonight from Chase Center in San Francisco, 126-106. The final. Warriors get the win. And now Portland will get some time off for Christmas as we all get ready for Christmas Eve, which is quickly approaching. And my man Chris Burkhard going to be doing some work tonight getting ready for Christmas.
Never ending, baby.
Never ending. All right. 5th quarter, Chad Doing and Chris Burkhard here on 620 Rip City Radio. All right, we'll get to Coach's Corner here in just a moment, but let's go out to the phones. My man Tim in Milwaukee's out there. Let's see what he has to say. Tim, welcome to the show. Merry Christmas. The stage is yours.
Merry Christmas to you, Chad, and you as well, Chris. The principal pregame had a wonderful monologue, a poem that he wrote for the pregame show, which was just delightful. And I thought, wouldn't it be clever to go ahead and bookend that on the fifth quarter with a charming little soliloquy of my own. I have authored one here tonight for you called Lickety Brindle. And here we go, Chad. With a loss to the Wizards, Chauncey seeks a team alpha. It seems that my Christmas will be met with nostalgia. But I know what to do when my woes are aplenty. I can dial 503-248-0620. If I had a time machine, into history we could delve, and Mr. Billups would find his alphas in positions 1 through 12. Names like Drexler and Kersey, from point guards to bigs, all wishful thinking now the NBA's rigged. Ball palming, late whistles, and double overtime used to placate the fans and shift Vegas lines. The 90s were some of the best times on earth, but now we languish in the curse of Kevin Duckworth. The Trailblazer brass seems to be in no hurry to honor his legacy and retire his jersey. Till 00 is in the rafters, there will be no good cheer, and we'll be lottery-bound year after year. Help, Chad. Help, Chris. Where can we turn in a pinch? Maybe Jody Allen, the Rip City Grinch? I'll try to be optimistic in the face of a new dawn, but when I look around, all our legends are gone. No Shonley, no Ramsey, Maurice Lucas, Jerome. No championship parade for this place I call home. So on Foster, on Crawford, on Tim Donnie. Oh, man. At 7-21, a sad Christmas it will be. So what's the solution after years of such battle? Build a casino. Sell the team to Seattle. That's the end of my call and my poem about hoop. Merry Christmas, Chad and Chris. Now I have to poop.
That was sensational, my friend. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, Tim. Well done. Well done. I'll be sending that over to the Principal Curtis Long to get his blessing on your efforts. We appreciate that. Back to the phones we go. Let's grab Victor in Turkey. Victor, my friend, Merry Christmas.
Hi, sir. Merry Christmas. Before I forget, Merry Christmas to you and Chris Bernhardt. Sometimes, in some countries, they don't celebrate Christmas because of religion or whatever. But I did, and I do celebrate Christmas for many years because I was in the States for many years. That's why I do it. But anyways, I was going to ask you a personal question after I say about this NBA. My personal question, I don't want to, if it's not, kind of insulting, I want to ask you and the Chris, your grandfather, your ancestors, most of the people in U.S. came from Europe, most of them. I want to ask you and the Chris, I think maybe your ancestors came from Europe. I want to see what countries they might come from.
I know that I'll be honest with you. I'm adopted, so I don't really know where I come from. I guess I'm kind of a mutt, but I do know that my parents who adopted me, that the Doing name has roots in Germany.
Oh, okay. I see.
What about you, Chris? Where are your ancestors from?
Sometimes it's creepy because I'm like you. My biological father I never knew, but Burkhard is of German descent. I do know that. So look at you and I.
Wow.
Right now, the family that I do know came.
I don't know if I knew you were adopted.
I'm not adopted.
Yeah.
Just long story.
Okay, I understand.
Not for radio.
All right.
But no, my grandma was Portuguese. My grandpa was Filipino. But it's also interesting though because everyone says someone immigrated. I'm actually reverse of that because my family came over to Hawaii to work in the cane fields as part of a program that they had. But that was before Hawaii was a state. Uh-huh. And then they were already there. And then the United States came over, grabbed it. And so the United States kind of came to my family.
Interesting. Hey, Victor, I assume that your roots are from Turkey. If not, where from?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm kind of, my mother and father was in different countries, like from Armenia and Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Armenians live in Turkey a long time ago. But they didn't treat them very good, you know.
Yeah.
The Turkish, they're kind of they have a long history of abusement, but they settle down in new time. You know, they kind of cool down a little bit. But anyways, about the NBA, you know, I was thinking a lot about this Blazers. And I think, you know, I use a lot of psychology and, kind of overall, you know, science. I think one of the things, look at the players as a whole. If it's a job is so important. When I was in America, you know, I noticed, you know, in Turkey, job is not number one, you know. Having a job, like, if you want to have a job in Turkey or Armenia or Iran or other, you know, Middle East country, the job is number one. Maybe it's number 5. You won't believe it. It's not even number 2. Even you have to have a job to have a family, right? But psychology is very different. Now, in America, when I live in America, job is number 1 because after college, I had to try very hard to get a job. It was almost impossible. But what I'm saying is all these players, American players, NBA, well, if they have a job, if they are looking for a job, they have it. So the Blazer team, the Blazer players, they have a job, they have it. But the complication comes when they look at the, the Warriors, they have a big market. And they win because they have a big market, they cannot lose. You know, like a psychology, it's like, well, we have a big market, and they have some new players. They're new players. They are better than our new players. You know, if you look at this Comingo, or another, you know, young guy that has like a European name, Deminsky or something like that. He has scored like 17 or 20 points. He's a very good player. And what I'm saying is they're new players. They're better than our new players. And their old players, well, they're better than our old players because they are a bigger market. As you said, the bigger market, they attract better players. But that's one thing. So what I'm saying is for the Blazer to win a championship is almost impossible, you know, to my idea. But if they try for 3-4 years, maybe they can get to the playoffs. You know, you said that maybe they try and they get the playoffs. But I think this having a small market and not attracting players is going to go forever, you know. So it's very hard for the players say, you know, they don't have the highest skills, tell them to win, you know, to win games. And at some point, you know, they get tired, you know, so, well, we cannot win, you know. So what I'm saying is I don't see any solution to it. You know, like when I look at the NBA, like I was signed up for the NBA on the NBA application for the watching games. Yes. And then when I went to the NBA, sign up, they asked me, what is your favorite NBA team? And then when they showed up on the screen on my phone, 32 teams, they didn't have the Blazer name. I was shocked. You wouldn't believe it. They had 31. They showed 31 teams, and I just scrolled down. I said maybe I made a mistake, and then I scrolled down, find my favorite team. Because they had all the teams, you know, not only 10. They had all the teams. And when I went to the end of the list, it was 31 teams. The last one was the Indiana Pacers, but the Blazer wasn't in there. I was gonna call the NBA and complain about that. I said, well, you didn't have all the 32 teams listed. So what I'm saying is, they insult the Blazer. They're insulting Blazer. If I was the owner, you know, having spent billions of dollars making this team, I will call the NBA application or something. I said, why you don't put the Blazer on the list? The money, Chad. The money is number one in America. I mean, the money is so important. Job and the money. What I'm saying is, Blazers spend the same money as the maybe San Antonio. I mean, San Francisco and all of this. Maybe they spend the same money, but they don't get the respect. So I don't understand this concept. Why you spend money and you have a big state like Oregon and you don't get the respect. I just don't understand it.
All right. Well, I've got a couple of thoughts on what you just said, Victor. Merry Christmas and love you, buddy, and I appreciate the phone call. First off, I think what's happening now with some of the Europeans that we're seeing coming to the NBA, I think through their youth basketball into their international basketball or where they're playing for their country, I think the Europeans are getting better development at younger ages. I think AAU has really damaged basketball here in the United States. So I don't think players by large in the States are getting as good a coaching and preparation like maybe they had prior. So I do think there's an element of that. The Europeans are getting terrific coaching now. And when they come over, they're much more NBA ready than what they used to be, and they're playing a more physical brand of basketball. Very skilled as well. In regards to building a championship team in a small market, you have to draft well. It's going to start through the draft. You have to be able to draft well and put yourself in a position to get your key pieces in the draft and then hopefully make a championship run. For instance, when they drafted Brandon Roy, Greg Oden, and LaMarcus Aldridge, that was the makings of a championship nucleus, but injury derailed it. And I would say this about the Warriors. They have benefited from free agency, for instance, when they landed Kevin Durant. But their core pieces, Steph, Dre, and Clay, they're all draft picks. So they didn't choose to go to the big market and play for the Warriors. They were drafted by Golden State. And that was a product of good scouting, good decision-making, and they picked the players they wanted in the draft. And so keep that in mind. And if you look across the NBA, a lot of the teams that we see competing for championships, these are teams that have drafted well. Denver, able to draft Jokic and Murray. Boston, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Look at the nucleus Oklahoma City has put together now through the draft. Orlando, the same thing. So these teams that are competing currently for a championship, their key pieces came through the draft. So what I'm trying to say is that what the Blazers are doing by accruing young assets and looking for more draft picks, eventually what you want to hope for is that they hit on these draft picks so they can get the nucleus of a potential championship team, and you go out there and get a chance to prove it. Free agency, if you have a chance to land LeBron James, that's great. But most of the teams that compete for titles are teams that were built through the draft. And that's even more so for a smaller market team. Even look at Milwaukee. They won a championship, and they did it by drafting players. And they've augmented around Giannis in, free agency, but they drafted him. Then they're able to pull off a big trade. So for small market teams, draft, and then after that, trade. But very rarely are you going to look at free agency as a way to put yourself in a position to contend. Let's go out to the phones and grab another call. Sean, my man out in Damascus, is there. Sean, Merry Christmas, buddy. Welcome to the fifth quarter.
Hey, well, once again, happy holidays.
Thank you.
I was just thinking about you, and I'm like, I'm not going to hear from Chet. And I was like, wait a minute, no, he's on tonight.
I appreciate
there
that.
There was a game on,
yeah.
and once again, it was blocked out, so I couldn't see it, so I'm a little ticked off. But we lost. But I did want to ask you, too, about I was thinking about this other night, how Scoot was the number 3 pick, and I understand you got to be patient. A lot of people aren't right now, but then you got this guy on Golden State, and I'm not sure. Maybe you can clarify for me when he was drafted, at what spot. I'm thinking second round, but the Paczynski kid is looking really, really good, and Steve Kerr just loves him. I mean, he's kind of all over the place. He's in there rebounding and looks just like he really knows the game. So I was kind of, a little surprised about that. I never really even heard of the guy, And it's funny how you get a guy like that comes in and getting big minutes and contributing, and Scoot's kind of having a little troubles here, but I think he'll be okay. But it's just kind of bizarre how you get guys drafted in these spots, and then this other guy looks way better than the other guy. So, and I wanted to ask you too, Domantas Sabonis, because I was watching the Kings play. Is it true that the Blazers could have actually drafted him? I couldn't remember what draft he came out of and who we took, if that's the case.
Yeah, I'll give you an answer, and I appreciate the phone call, Sean. First off, with Petruszynski, with the Warriors, he was the 19th pick in the first round of this past draft. He played his college ball at Illinois and also at Santa Clara. And I like what I see so far from him. The great thing about Steve Kerr and what I've noticed with him is that, and I was down there in the very first year in which he took over for the Warriors, but he was always willing to play young players, and he will do that without question. So he'll play young players. He'll give them a chance to play and develop them, and he'll do that a lot earlier in the season. Like right now, he'll get guys run, he'll get them minutes, sometimes a part of the rotation, but he prepares them, and then if the postseason hits and they're in a position where they've got to play him, he's not afraid to do it. So I respect Steve Kerr and his process for the way he's able to go about that. Let's see here. What was that? The 2016 NBA draft. Let's see here. I think Sabonis was taken in the top 10, somewhere close to that. Sabonis was 11th, the 11th player taken overall in the first round in the 2016 NBA draft.
That was a year Portland didn't have any picks.
So they had no chance to get him.
No chance.
So there you go, Sean. They did not have a chance to get Sabonis. I like him. His father, Arvydas, is one of my favorite basketball players of all time. When he came over and started playing for Portland, I thought, okay, I'm down with this. All right, let's take a listen to Coach Billups. Let's jump into the Coach's Corner.
Time Jeep of Portland presents the Coach's Corner with Chauncey Billups. Time for a brand new ride from Time Jeep of Portland. You won't believe the huge deals they're offering. With over 300 new and used vehicles to choose from, you'll find the perfect ride for your new adventure at Time Jeep. Find us just minutes away from the Moda Center off I-84 or visit timejeep.com. Drive with time.
All right, here's Coach Billups following the Blazers' 20-point loss at Chase Center to the Warriors tonight.
Thought we did a really good job defensively early on, scrambling, kind of getting around, and had a pretty good first quarter, until the last, I think it was about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, we gave up 3 offensive rebounds, and it just changed the game. It really changed the game for us. Second quarter, we turned it over a little bit, but we just, they just kicked our butt so bad on the rebounds. And it's tough to, you play a pretty good possession of defense and then don't come up with the deflating plays. But even, all rebounds, offensive rebounds, I mean, they took it to us. They really did, and there's nothing that you can really do about that. I mean, we get 30 rebounds for the game. They get basically 50. It's tough to absorb that.
You and I talked about getting off to fast starts before the game. You said it starts with defense. Is that what you saw in the first quarter tonight?
It was. I thought we did a really good job of locking into what we was trying to do defensively, which did. It got us off to a good start. And we just couldn't sustain. We couldn't sustain that team. They just kept wearing on you, kept getting rebounds, kept getting putbacks. And it was just, it was tough. And then we turned them over, I think, 13 times at the half, but only for 7 points, So we got to be able to do a better job, but when we do get turnovers, we got to be able to convert. Those are big opportunities for us, and also it's a deflating play for them. So it wasn't our best night.
Hey, Coach. Scoot had 3 steals tonight. Obviously took turns guarding some pretty dynamic guards. What do you think his potential is on the defensive end?
Oh, I think he's going to be, when he learns, how aggressive he could be at different points of the game. He's an aggressive defender. He's a tenacious defender. He's going to be an elite defender in this league. But that takes a while because, one, he's playing against most of these players for the first time in his life. It takes a while to kind of understand what these players, what this guy wants to do, what this guy wants to do. It's even harder now because we switch so much, so you can't just key in on, Steph and Clay, it's the 4-man, it's, everybody. So his potential is very, very high on the defensive end.
There you go. Chauncey Billups falling the Blazers 126-106 loss tonight to the Golden State Warriors. So your Portland Trail Blazers now will get a couple of days off. Their next game will come up on Tuesday. They host the Sacramento Kings. Tip-off from Moda Center will be at 7. Game day will kick off at 4:30. And then they have back-to-back games on Thursday and Friday of next week against the San Antonio Spurs, both games tipping off from Moda Center at 7 o'clock. And then they'll have the rest of the weekend off, and they play on January 1st. Very convenient. Oh, my God.
Boo! Boo!
Oh, I forgot they play on the 1st. Why? Sorry, I'm absorbing this information. I forgot about the 1st. You flipping kidding me?
We can't have nice things, man.
It's only like one of the greatest football days ever. And you and I are going to be in here together. It's very cute.
Welcome into the 5th quarter. It's 1st and 10. Let's make it all football themed that day.
All right, let's cross-check and see what time the football games kick off. I'm sure that's going to be very convenient for us. I hate it when sports collide. They shouldn't be allowed to collide like that. Come on. We were just talking the other day. You don't think the NFL likes it. You don't think the NBA, is not liking it when the NFL is infringing on their territory. Now the NBA is infringing on college football's territory.
And the thing is, the NFL will take both of them. The NFL will take both of them.
Ah, crapola. All right, so the first game, Michigan and Bama's at 2 p.m. It looks like with the 6 o'clock, oh, yeah, that's great, 6 o'clock tip. What is that, a 3:30 start, right?
Yup.
I feel like somebody just kicked me in the package. I just went speed bagging the acorns.
Never hit the little homies like that.
I'm glad I found out today. I needed time to prepare for this, man. I was making grand plans in my mind today for the first, like, oh, yeah, dog, it's on, man. Sit back. Maybe we'll get together with Pops. We can watch some solid playoff football with 2 good matchups. That ain't happening. No.
Nope. Wishful thinking.
All right. Well. Okay, whatever. That's over and done with.
Yeah, I love that we have YouTube. People can watch the angst build up inside you right now.
Dude, that's such a great look at the football day, Burkhard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 college football games all in one day, and 2 of the games are college football playoff greatness. There's no NFL games that day. The NFL's not playing on the 1st.
God, New Year's Day college football is so good.
It's so good.
So good.
Ever since I was a little boy, like, my mom, like, she used to really take care of me when I was younger watching football on New Year's Day. She made me, like, nacho, whatever I wanted, dude. It was like a smorgasbord. Whatever my tummy desired as I was watching ball, it was on. I love those days, man. I want those days back, man.
Nope. I'll bring you treats.
I remember I was 10 years old when the Sooners won the national championship. That was on New Year's Day against Penn State in the Orange Bowl. And I just, ever since that moment, I was like, this is one of the greatest concepts in the history of mankind. One, we're not in school, and everyone gets together and plays a bunch of football games on the same day, and we get to sit back and watch it and cheer on our favorite teams. It's a great concept. It's beautiful. And then you get older, and then life, like, interferes with such activities. It's not proper.
Yeah, you ever see all those? You're right out of that age range now, but you see all the memes of the dads who spend all the money on 70-inch TVs just to watch football games on their phone.
Yeah,
that's my house.
Yeah,
Mom, I really want to watch Bluey. This football game's boring.
I know. That's what I do now too. I'll get on my bed and just flip on my laptop and start watching something and ignore the televisions that were more expensive.
Rachel says call in sick. I think maybe Shacker and Dwight owe us one.
Call in sick. That's another one of Rachel's great ideas.
Things you can't do in this profession.
Yeah, because it's that easy to just have someone call in sick at a radio station when you have like 5 live bodies that can actually work. Rachel was the same person that told me that to solve the airline issue, to buy another ticket and just have 2 seats.
No.
Yeah, you're missing the point, Rach. The problem is when you think, I'll just call in sick tomorrow. Oh, there's no one that can fill in for me. That's cool. I have no choice. And if I call in sick and then you try to host a show for me, we got no one that can cover the other side.
I'll just do both.
Yeah, dang it. Whatever. I don't care that much about the college football games anyways. It's not that big a deal.
Why? It's a big game. Harbaugh's last hurrah before he goes and coaches the Chargers.
He's going to flirt with the NFL again. And
100%.
he's going to use it to get paid, either by an NFL team giving him ridiculous Jake or driving up the price at Michigan again.
Yeah.
I can't, but remember they reduced his pay a couple of years ago. Remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, they did. And now all of a sudden he's on fire, in hot demand. All right. I'm done complaining now. We can move along. Let's get ready for Christmas. Burkhardt's got stuff to do. But thanks for your time tonight, my friends. We appreciate it. Our next Trailblazer broadcast is going to come up on the 26th. The game day at 4:30, tip-off at 7 with the Blazers and Kings. Your final score tonight from Chase Center down in San Francisco, the Warriors over the Blazers, 126-106 from my friend and partner, Chris Burkhard. I am Chad Doing. You guys have a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful night.